Hi. Welcome to Someone Else's Movie, the original podcast where an actor, writer, director, or nebulous industry figure gives a little love to a movie they didn't make. I'm Norm Wilner. I'm a critic, consultant, and programmer based in Toronto, and this is the other thing I do. My guest this week is Blake Winston Rice, a writer, director, and producer whose short films include People Like You, Sawdust, and Tea, which premiered in competition at Cannes in 2024. His latest, Disc, stars Victoria Radermanis and Jim Cummings as two people whose one-night stand turns into a particularly intimate challenge. It's been rolling through the festival circuit since its TIFF premiere last fall, and this week it's screening in the Clemont-Ferrand International Short Film Festival. Keep an eye out for it. Blake chose Hamnet, Chloe Zhao's drama about grief, release, and Shakespeare. Adapted from the novel by Maggie O'Farrell, the film follows the emotional life of Agnes Hathaway, who becomes the wife of William Shakespeare and raises their children while he's off working in London. When they lose their son Hamnet to the plague, Agnes is shattered and alone, convinced no one can understand her heartbreak, until she goes to London to see her husband's latest work. With Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal giving raw, immediate performances, and Zhao returning to the ethereal, observational mode of Nomadland after the whole Marvel thing, Hamnet proved as much of a crowd pleaser as the play that inspired it, winning the People's Choice Award at TIFF last fall and rolling merrily through award season. It's now up for 8 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actress. And that gives us a lot to talk about. This is Someone Else's Movie.
I don't know how I'm going to speak on this because I just saw it and I'm so messed up from it in the best way. And
Okay.
I've had no one to talk to about this movie. So why not record it and be judged by it? Put it out there. I'm in.
All right. Did you see it as an award screener or with an audience?
So honestly, what I'm working on a feature with a company, and some of the actors in that movie, they were like, you got to check them out. And I haven't seen enough of their work. So that was the original reason why, which feels cool to have like homework. And so I went on a Tuesday night at a 9:55 showing by myself this week to Hamnet, and theater was packed. Shout out to LA. There was a ton of, enthused audience members there, and it blew me away. The movie blew me away, and it really, the end of the movie was most of the theater crying, and I'm not kidding. And I don't think I've seen something that powerful and kind of, something eliciting that emotion out of an audience of strangers in, I don't know, ever, a long time. So I'll start it off there. It just was an incredible success of a movie. I think this director is doing stuff specifically this year that a lot of this year's directors aren't. And I'm a huge fan. So Norma, what did you think?
Well, it's not my favorite of Zhao's films, but it's not her fault. I think the essential, I like it. I think it's a solid movie. My problem with it is that so much of it just hangs on someone in the audience needing to say, oh, it's that William Shakespeare. And that's a trick that you can pull off in the text in a book, right? But on film, you're just interacting with the complete history of Shakespeare on screen and all of our preconceptions, and you're inevitably going to get distracted by the theater and the staging and the room and the space and all the the quasi-Malick meditative stuff that Zhao does so well. I think by shifting it into a period story where the outcome is inevitable, in this case, for the first time of any of her movies, and the journey is absolutely the point. But we're moving towards a thing that is fixed in time and space and has to happen. So as soon as I understood what the dynamics are and what the story is going to be, it's just like, oh, okay. Do you need me? Am I I don't know that I need to be there. But I love Paul Mescal and Jessie Buckley, and they're both phenomenal screen presences, and I will watch them in anything. So I absolutely enjoyed it, but I didn't have the emotional investment. And I also have to acknowledge I didn't see this with an audience, which is apparently a huge factor.
Yeah, it was crazy with an audience. I see that. That's a great point. To me, I think I kind of agree with parts of that, but also the performances kind of just take you through it too. You know what I mean? It's like and I think maybe it's like how the movie is packaged now or how it's being sold now. Like, that's kind of what the attraction is to see these two performances too. So I was kind of with it. It was shot better. I thought the camera motivation in each scene was pretty pretty exquisite. Like, and it was some cool non-traditional cuts in there that I was really into. Sound design was really selectively minimal too. She'll cut everything a lot, and with an audience that really like made everyone clench. Like it was a pressure valve all the time with that sound design that I thought was super effective. But then that last act, I just thought that last act was so cool and well done, and probably knew it was coming, knew what it was from the beginning of that. Like once you see it's for her, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
like it just still was super effective to me. Like it still just really hit. And you know what part of it I think like that really worked because it was really endearing was the rest of the audience's reaction besides the two of them. And I loved that.
Yeah,
I love them being like, it's them seeing the stage as like the biggest show they've probably ever seen. There's something that was, do you agree? Like, was there something very touching about them being so locked into this experience as you're locked into this experience too?
Yeah, I absolutely understand why it would win the People's Choice Award at TIFF, right? Because the film festival audiences and TIFF audiences in particular love to see themselves reflected back, like not as an audience, but as a commune, as an experience, as a community that supports art. You're in this heightened space. You've just seen a world premiere. The actors are there. You want to be as enthusiastic as possible. I have been on stage for Q&As at TIFF. I was a programmer there for 3 years, and the feedback is palpable. It is incredible, and I can only imagine what it would have been like for this particular film. But yeah, the vision of the audience as an organism, right? Like as a single body experiencing, channeling, amplifying Agnes' grief, and the release that comes with it, and the Max Richter track, which it's overused, but it's right here. I think it's the appropriate choice.
Yeah, I agree with that. I looked that up afterwards. I was like, how is this cool? Like, how can you just take this track and use, because it's used in Arrival the entire time.
Yeah, it's in a bunch of, it's been used a lot recently. I'm trying to think of what the other, I'm just going to look it up because it's right here and I can do that. Usage in popular media, there's a whole thing. Yes, it's in Stranger Than Fiction, it's in Shutter Island, Disconnect, Togo, The Last of Us used it. Arrival is the one that creates a motif out of it. So it's incredibly well used there. But
oh man, we can do another episode on Arrival. I love Arrival.
It's a good one.
Arrival too.
But the sense of all of these like pre-existing works, I guess it's okay to have Max Richter's track there because Hamlet itself is something we've all heard a million times and seen a million times. And I really do admire the idea of stripping everything down and showing it to us as it would have happened. That's the thing that really impressed me. It's not the period design. It's impeccable, but the sense of place and the idea that these people are not worldly. Even Shakespeare, like he knows plays, he knows literature, he's read, but he hasn't experienced things in the way that you would now. There's no, Mescal is so good at being closed. And I think about After Sun, which is just this incredible tragic character trying like the whole, when you're trying to be sad, you smile. When you're trying to be funny, you're sad. The contrast between what he wants and what he does, I think it's his superpower as an actor. He's just, and in All of Us Strangers too, where he's just a shell of himself. Here, we see the charm of William Shakespeare. We see who he could be, and then the work takes over and the world consumes him. He goes off and disappears and leaves Agnes alone in her grief. And it's a great choice to cast Mescal as someone who can write but not speak, but can't like articulate, I suppose, two people.
Yeah, it all
goes onto the page.
That's why I love that scene where he's crying and drunk at his desk at night and he can't explain where he's at in his process. I related to that. I'm not saying I'm Shakespeare, but like there's times where you're just like, dude, I don't know why I have to do this thing, why I'm called to this thing, why do I need to stay up and work on this form that hasn't paid the bills yet, and X, and like, but I need someone to trust me, to believe in me, that I can do this to get to what, like, there is something there. And she's really still in her shot choices. Like they'll leave your A-list talent. This like just wouldn't happen. Like you leave your A-list talent in a third of the frame in this huge wide that lasts 7 minutes. It would be cut here, cut here, cut here, cut here, cut here, cut here. Like, and that also, I think in the theater, you get to appreciate that even more, but it was nice and confident. It was not it felt nice and confident.
Yeah, I mean, this is the style she's been evolving since the very beginning, really. And I am fascinated by the career track that she's carved for herself, because you make a Best Picture and you just shot a Marvel movie, and somehow, and I don't think Eternals works at all, and I don't know how much of that is on her. It's everything about that is like post Endgame wrong. Like the film doesn't understand. The film just doesn't work. And I do think it's an unfilmable challenge, but she shot it with an eye towards, again, focusing on performance and focusing on space and naturalism. And it matches up really beautifully with Nomadland and with The Rider, and it's in Songs My Brothers Taught Me. It's in all of her work, the respect for performance and the need, I think, to have someone exist on screen. I mean, Songs My Brothers Taught Me and The Rider both use non-actors predominantly. Nomadland has all those wonderful scenes of McDormand and Strathairn interacting with people and almost co-directing scenes by coaxing people to be comfortable. And Hamnet is, in a weird way, like, despite the fact that it has, as you say, A-list actors, like real, like, solid professionals, reliable, like Jessie Buckley is giving the Jessie Buckley performance in that movie. It's used well to capture her energy and her sort of unpredictability, but she's still very clearly acting. It's not a wild performance, but the film makes you believe that it is. Like, we see her as though she's just been captured in the frame.
Yeah. And part of that is laid up nicely with her kind of like supernatural sensibilities. Like, I was really down for that. I don't know what's behind that, but I was into this like sixth sense, nature sense that she has throughout it. Did it work for you?
I mean, I bought into it. I bought into it because the characters all buy into it. And that's kind of what I mean about setting a film and not trying to contemporize a period piece. Like, these people are unevolved, is a cruel way of saying it, but they're not educated. They don't know about the world, and this sort of thing is the way they make sense of it. So I completely bought that. Not only would Agnes have this quality, but that she would believe it because everybody else has been telling her whole life, oh, this must be because you're a witch. And then she meets William, who jokes about it and makes it okay, right? Like, that's maybe the first time a romantic partner or a potential romantic partner has expressed comfort with it. And just like, well, okay, so you're a little weird. I think I'm a little weird too. That's how you do it now, right? Like, that's how you would sell it in a present day movie. But she finds a context, and I'm sure it's straight out of the text in the book, but both the author and the filmmaker have found this context to channel like a contemporary energy, while acknowledging that, no, this is 700 years ago, and they aren't like us. They're afraid of plagues, and they're scared, and then the plague is real, right? Like, the world they live in isn't our world, and the relationship they have to art doesn't exist yet, because that's us, that's not them. So you're watching this sort of raw emotional version.
Yeah, I think in a love story where I'd say like it's 60-40 hers, right? I think there's something that audiences really relate to in wanting to be able to channel energies like today. Like, I know a bunch of people who swear that they know what their cat is saying, and their cat is sensing something's wrong in the house. Like, this is something that people long for and need. And I think like it's a tiny percentage of the pie, why everyone's vibing with this character so much because they want to be her. She's living free in the forest. She's connecting to stuff. Paul Mescal's chasing her around. Like, who I'm cheapening it, but I don't know. I think it plays into part of the pie. Like it, and I just think it really works. And I just want, like, how did she get such good child performances too? The boy is incredible.
I think that's the observational quality where she just lets people be and then keeps the best take. But it's creating that space that makes her the director that she is.
Yeah. Well, and just the actors around him that are also like doing part of that lift. Like, not to take anything away from the kids, but they are. You have to be. Like, you know who you're working with.
Oh yeah, no, if Jessie Buckley is there caring about you more intensely than anyone else has ever cared about another person, you respond to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's like foreknowledge plays a big part in this because we probably, I'm assuming if you bought a ticket to a movie called Hamnet, you know what happens to the kid, or at least you have some vague idea.
Yes. And also I knew I was sitting down to a meal. Like this is a meal. This isn't a snack. Like you're going to the office today to watch this one. And it totally delivered. It was interesting about the final. I know I like listen to the Arrival soundtrack. Like I know this final piece of the score. That was one thing that I wished it was something organic, but it still totally worked. It has to be original score throughout most of it, right? Like
I think it is. Yeah.
And I wonder what's behind that choice a little bit, because it, like, that she's got to know everyone knows this song. But maybe there's just a confidence there, like everyone also knows this play, and it's kind of, a two-hander.
Yeah. Let it carry itself. And the music just sort of shows up to really punch home certain moments. I am wrong. It may still be mostly an original score, but according to this, Richter is the film's composer. So he either came up with new music and incorporated On the Nature of Daylight, or he just used his own source music. I'm not totally sure. I don't know. I'm not familiar with his work at a level where I could say, oh, that's a new piece. But it felt more like the score is just sort of present, right? Like it's an underscore. It's an atmospheric, immersive score. It doesn't have, like big trumpets or things like that. It's not that kind of movie, as opposed to, obviously the obvious comparison that leaps to mind is something like Shakespeare in Love, where the music it's flutes and it's bouncy and it keeps you, bouncing from scene to scene, and you're encouraged to laugh and giggle. Yeah, it's steering you. And that's not what this movie does. That's not what Zhao does as a filmmaker. She just lets you feel your way into a world and kind of walks us through it. There's usually, with Agnes, she's the point of view character here. There's someone who introduces us to everything, and we just kind of spend time with them as they go through their lives. It's for all my crabbing about it being a period piece, that's a really good way into a story like this. There is almost no exposition. There's just life, and you have to figure out what it all means.
Yeah, it starts with her just waking up in the roots of a tree, and he's already chasing her. I also loved that. There was no, like, we didn't burn too much time on the meet cute. We didn't burn too much time. Like, they were into each other, I think, in the first 7 minutes. Like, and I think that's what people like. Good. That's like I think it's just self-aware of cutting right to it. Where do you think her career, we touched on it for a second, but like, where do you think her career goes, his career goes, and Jesse's career goes after this, besides The Bride?
Hey, it's Norm, interrupting my own show to bring you up to speed on Shiny Things, my newsletter about physical media, culture, and the odd streaming project. Last week I wrote about Roofman, Afterburn, Fackham Hall, Shelby Oaks, and Wicked for Good, and I also said goodbye to Catherine O'Hara. Sign up for a 14-day free trial at shiny-things.ghost.io or find a link at the Semcast Blue Sky account. You like reading about movies? I like writing about them. Come check it out. It's funny. I've been watching all the Oscar conversation, obviously, because by the time this comes out,
Mm-hmm.
the nominations will have been announced, but they're still a few days away as we record.
We should make a bunch of hot takes. We got to we need to lay down some bets.
I mean, I think it's going to come down to Buckley and Rose Byrne. I think that's finally catching fire. The push for If I Had Legs I'd Kick You. I think that's an incredible performance.
I haven't seen.
It is. The camera is on her face the entire picture, and the character is deeply unlikable, and you're always somehow sympathizing with her decisions, even when they're terrible. And Byrne, I've been a fan since, what was that Australian one? I Capture the Castle in like 2003 or something. And she's known for comedy, and she's established an incredible career as a screen comic, but she's got chops. She's an amazing dramatic actor. Yeah. And this is a hell of a performance. And I think because everybody else has been saying that Buckley is the lock, is the only certainty we have, because probably there's no Best Actress nomination coming for One Battle After Another, which is the presumptive winner. So we'll see. Everybody's trying to stage a battle between Hamnet and One Battle, and I don't know that that's fair. Also, frankly, awards are bullshit, and I don't care. But I like what I like.
We only care until we're in them. That's the rule.
Yeah, once you're nominated, everything changes. But yeah, no, like, I mean, Jennifer Lawrence isn't going to get nominated for Die My Love because nobody saw it, and that's deeply unfair because she's phenomenal in that. But if we're talking about what Jessie Buckley does, I think this is the film that proves that she can do the thing you need from her, like whatever that thing is. She's an incredibly versatile actor. She's always great at hinting at layers of rage or darkness or pain, but this movie also gives us joy and release in a way that she doesn't often get to do. So it's sort of the 4-quadrant for her. She just demonstrates her entire range, and Zhao just lets it happen, which is great. It feels like it's just exploding in front of you on camera. Not that it was directed or crafted, which of course it was. But, think about her performance in Women Talking, where she's the angriest person in the room for the entire movie. And yet we still, like, she's never wrong. She's completely justified. And even her sardonic laughter lands with pain, right? But there's no joy in that performance. There can be. It's not that kind of movie. That's not what that film is. This just
has the full spectrum.
Exactly. This one is like, oh, look, you can also see this. Her grief turns into something else. Her anger becomes something else. Her calm, her poise underscores the wildness, right? Like Agnes is a multifaceted character throughout, and watching that character lose herself in grief and embrace the grief as much as she embraces everything else she's already experienced is like, it's almost too painful to watch. So coming out the other side of it is like this incredible triumph, and it's brought there by the revelations of the play, and it's, like, William is essential to that catharsis. But if you have someone else playing it, that's the thing, right? I'm being incredibly inarticulate about this, but I think
no, you are.
Like, the sign of a tremendous performance is if you come out of it thinking no one else could possibly have done that, because any other actor could play that role, right? Like, that's just how casting works. This is an incredible accomplishment to have her in this part and be directed and shot and all of these pieces together. And someone else could probably have played this role as well, but you can't imagine another actor in that role. That's the thing that Jessie Buckley has in Hamnet.
But I don't recast it.
Oh, who else would I pick?
There's not. Who plays that role?
I think it's weird. They were in Women Talking Together. I think Claire Foy could do it. I don't know that she could do it as well, because there's a little bit of a reserve to Claire Foy. But I mean, she could have absolutely played the part.
Yeah. Has the chops. Like, I don't think like a Saoirse Ronan could do it.
I think she's a little young. I mean, she's not, but she'd read young.
Yeah. It's hers, man.
That's it, right?
It's hers.
I cannot picture anyone else in that performance.
No. And when you're so strong that you're showing the devices of other characters, you're like, oh yeah, like Paul, after that third act, you're like, he's a device. We don't need to say much more with him. Like, we're there, we earned it. The rest of the journey is hers here. I don't know. I think that's like kind of a backhanded compliment to to her work on it.
Yeah. Well, and it's built into the structure too. Like William's catharsis is writing the play, which we don't get to see. Not really, because it's an internal action.
Yeah.
But she gets to experience it. So she gets the catharsis for both of them. And she's basically playing his release as well, which again is like this Herculean bit of lifting in a performance where you have to, and we have to see it in her eyes. She can't say it. It's not in the script, right? Like it can't be articulated. It's an understanding. And that's, somebody told me that years ago, the hardest thing to play is understanding, because people just bug their eyes, and it's like reflexively, we all think we know what it looks like, but it's not that. It's a change of affect. And
it's like listening.
Yeah. You have to do it silently. I mean?
It's twice as hard. It's twice as hard as speaking. Like, and so, yeah, what's your letter grade? What do you give it?
Yeah, I don't do letter grades. I just
okay. What's your what's your vibe? I'll give you no thumbs up, no percentage.
No, I mean, I think I can. I don't think it's a bad. I mean, I would recommend it. I think it's ultimately, I think it's a good movie. I just found it, like, the structure, it's foreknowledge. It's just the essential problem that I have with a story that I know taking me to the thing that I know is going to happen. And as soon as it lays out what this is about, it's like, oh, well, this is where it's going to end. And it does. Like it's not that it's predictable, it's that it's inevitable. And I just didn't find myself, I found myself observing it rather than experiencing it. Like I just wasn't pulled in. I can admire the pieces of it, and I do. It just wasn't. It's funny, I had the same reaction to Marty Supreme, which I don't know if you've seen it, but
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay. So no spoilers to people listening, but it basically tells you right away that this guy is going to fuck up every situation that he experiences. And then for 2.5 hours, that's exactly what happens. And it's interesting, but I kept thinking, you know what? Good Time did this better. Good Time had a protagonist who was more interesting, and it was a contemporary story, and there was a component about the white privilege that Pattinson's character uses to destroy the lives of people of color, and callously, like, he poisons a guy, he sends someone else off a building, and the joke of it is, none of this is going to touch him. He's going to get away with everything, and he does, and that's the end of it. And Marty Supreme is kind of the same story. It just, my takeaway on that one was, this was the year between The Smashing Machine and Marty Supreme, is we found out which Safdie does what. Like,
wow.
Benny is the guy who tells stories about people who are desperate to be understood by their partners and family, and can't communicate what it is that they need. And Josh is the chaos kid. He just wants to see people fall off stuff. And he found a way to do it. And it's like, visually, it's incredible. It's an amazing production. It looks gorgeous. It moves very quickly, but not a single thing in there came as surprising or enlightening to me. It's just like, yep, that guy has a gun. Of course he does. Yep, this guy's going to hit him. Of course he did. And then Kevin O'Leary shows up. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to be here. I just don't need this.
Wasn't for you. What's your favorite movie of the year?
Oh, probably The Secret Agent, maybe on One Battle After Another. Time I Love blew me away. I really like The Testament of Anne Lee. I got a top 10 around here somewhere, but I rank them alphabetically, no points, but I make my list.
No points.
And Hamnet's not bad.
Yeah.
It just, I saw the structure, I saw the gears moving immediately. So I could sit back and appreciate the individual pieces of it. And I think there's stuff in here that is as good as anything else. But speaking of the Oscars, I will be very, very surprised if Amanda Seyfried gets nominated for Anne Lee, and she's phenomenal. Like it's an incredible, just as physical as what Buckley does, not the same emotional register. And it's a completely different role, and there's no point comparing them, but I think they're both exceptional work. And with Jessie Buckley and Hamnet, I fully expect Jessie Buckley is going to be phenomenal in everything, because that's who she is. That's why I'm really excited to see The Bride, because that is a stretch for her. It's something that will be different no matter what.
The Bride looks like a stretch.
Yeah. I'm intrigued.
I love Maggie Gyllenhaal. I'm curious about that too. Yeah.
I want to see what she does. I think Bale looks like he's having he's doing what he loves the most, which is hiding himself in makeup or masks or something and just going big.
Totally.
And I really want to see how those energies balance, because Buckley and Bale have really similar, 11 to 12 energy, where they just go higher and higher if you let them. So I'm really curious to see how that works. Plus the whole Bonnie and Clyde of it all. And
the whole Bonnie and Clyde setting. That trailer looks like it has a lot of gloss on it to me. I wonder if the true style, I wonder how much of the style of that movie is reflected in that trailer.
Yeah, never trust the marketing.
That looks like a gloss. That looks like a little gloss. And I wonder if that's the movie that we're going to see.
Yeah, I hope it isn't really, right? Like I want maybe just the first reel in the trailer is my perfect preference. Don't tell me anything after the first 20 minutes. I just want to experience it.
Well, that's what kind of goes to Hamnet. I'm not as well read Shakespeare wise. So I know the story, but I can't quote it, I can't, the moments where he was drawing inspiration, she was kind of spoon feeding that back to us. That was pretty fresh. And so I think in the third act, it really roped me in. And then a huge part was just how that audience reacted and how her brother's reacting and keeping her there. And something about her talking when she wasn't allowed to talk during the showing, that, there's some really subtle things that just helped keep the hooks in and it just kept that anxiety in it. And I was okay to separate. I don't know. I sometimes the best compliment I feel like I can give out is I don't know what all the way sucked me in. I wasn't thinking, I was roped in and I wasn't thinking about the craft. And the choice and all that, but great watch. I was psyched, and thanks for letting me choose that one.
Oh, my pleasure. I if it hasn't been done before, I'm always happy to let the guests steer. It's the best part is really finding out what it is they want to talk about and trying to stitch it back into the work I've seen, which actually does let us talk about Disc a bit, which is similarly. We talked about this before we got rolling. There is an intimacy, obviously, but there is a cinematography component to Disc that I felt really resonates with Hamlet. It's all set within the confines of a room. There's 2 shots of the outside, and they're through a window. Yeah. We are with these characters in an extremely uncomfortable, unpleasant, and undesirable moment, right? I'll do a quick précis of this, or if you want to just quickly describe the setup so people understand it. But it's. I'm
kind of curious how you would. I want to put you in the uncomfortable seat.
No, it's not uncomfortable at all. I mean, it's 2 people who have just woken up, presumably after having sex in a motel room. They don't know each other very well or at all, and she's got a how would you describe? She describes it as something like a diva cup. It's obviously not a birth control device. It's something else.
It's like a diaphragm. It's
like a diaphragm, right?
It's literally called a disc. I used to have one up on my wall. But yeah, it's like a diaphragm. It's like a disc. Okay. It's like about this big,
and it's dislodged.
It's stuck too high up. Yes,
right. And so she can't get it out on her own, and she has to enlist him. And it's that's it. That's the premise. And what do you do? And it is maybe the second most intimate thing you can do, right? If it's not in a sexual context, is explore another person's body. And it's just this complete crisis of behavior, because they have already done the most intimate thing. So now this is the other one. And what do you do? And it's the kind of thing where, I've been married for 22 years. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I would probably try to help. I would do what Jim Cummings does, which is be the best guy you can be. But him fumbling that is delightful.
Appreciate it.
And I don't know how to pronounce her name. I realize.
Victoria Radermanis.
Yeah. And then Victoria Radermanis, who co-wrote it and co-produced it with you, has to steer that, right? Has to give us this flood of conflicting emotions. She's in pain. She's confused. She's angry with this idiot who won't do what she needs him to do.
She's late. She's literally late.
Right. All these other pressures that are on her. And you have 12 minutes before credits to tell the story.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
But you
I'm
do it.
psyched for more time. I'm psyched for more time.
I can imagine. But in those 12 minutes, like you've got a freight train of this catharsis, as opposed to what Hamnet does, which is sort of slow walk us from the initial relationship to the tragedy, to the grief, to the recovery, to the catharsis. But it's like a freight train. It's something where, again, the actors, if they don't trust you, we don't get those performances. And it's the same situation, right? Like I can't imagine other people in those roles now.
Yeah. I'm really proud of it. Thanks for watching. Like
Of course.
In climbing my way up and finding my way in this business and shooting more stuff, I found the more I strip everything down, literally in this one, they're in their underwear more than half the movie. Yeah. The more I get two people in a place with a problem that they're both getting through, like I feel like I'm able to grow from that point up. And I knew Jim and Tori before this. So getting a personal relationship in, I think, was really necessary, and getting that level of comfort. Also, I will rehearse one-on-one with both of them a couple sessions and then bring them together in just rehearsals. And I'm reading these other parts. I'm in Jim's bathroom with his leg over his shoulder. Tori's over here, and we're on top. And before we had talk about intimacy coordinators, we had talk about everything. And we're like, yo, like this only works if we are up in each other's grill. Like it has to be that. And you know how I know how I'm going to be able to capture these moments on camera? Because it's going to be you two and an op in a bathroom, and it's going to be so hot you're going to be slipping on the floors. Let's ride. And they were both, credit to them, they were in and so trusting of me off the jump to be able to be like, I see this, I trust this is gonna, like, I trust the hands that it's in. And yeah, it was a journey. It was crazy. You edit on a screen as big as probably you're zooming on, right? And the first audience I saw it in really blown up, and we have people's body parts in faces. And I was like, oh man, this thing really jumps out and puts you in an uncomfortable spot in a good way. So I'm psyched. So I get to go to another festival, and it's been off to a great run so far.
Well, that's great. And you mentioned you're scouting actors for a project. So the next one's a feature?
We have, yeah. So I did another short. I've been doing shorts, I've been spending all my money bartending, maxing out credit cards for years. And then 2 years ago, I had a short compete at Cannes, and that kind of brought me into the feature fold. And right when I got back, I did disc actually. And so it kind of, been doing a couple shorts, and we have a short I produced that's hitting Sundance in a week or two. But after Cannes, I got my first script option that I'm attached to direct, and that's kind of made its way through the ringer. And now we're just casting, which is really cool. And knock on wood, it's the first of, I sold another, and it'll be, hopefully we'll be talking, I want to pick someone else's movie, but we'll talk about a feature that I have coming too. But I'm also learning the casting side for the first time, which is interesting, and a learning experience and a patience exercise, and also like a pinch me moment in the same breath.
Yeah, I understand. Somebody said, like, it isn't until you start casting a feature that you understand the value of having a schedule, of like knowing your dates, because everyone else is going to say, oh, I can't do that. Everybody's always working or trying to.
It's also it's an immediate, not an immediate, actually, it's a really slow thermostat to where you are in your career. Because it's like, oh, great, this person, I know you wanted these people, but actually, what about these people? And you're like, I don't know, I would make it with anybody. You're like, they're all great, but they're like, and then other people involved in the movie are like, well, we should aim up a little bit higher for these people now. And you're like, okay, but like, does that mean we wait 6 more months? Like, what's the deal? And it's all extremely flattering, but it's just, I've never done 90 minutes.
Yeah. And you want to make your movie.
And I want to make a movie. Yeah, totally.
Well, I mean, obviously, best of luck with that. I'm really excited to see what you can do with 90 minutes. It's, it'll either, stretch out organically, or it will be unbearable. So depending on the story.
Roll the dice, brother. I'm psyched for it. And I also kind of look at everything as a short anyway. And I think shorts totally make you have to develop quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know what, like, you can't miss a choice. And I think it sucks to only have that as an option to make when you're starting out, but I think it sharpens your tools. It really does. Like, you can't waste ink, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel I can write 3 shorts, put them together, and that's 3 acts. I've done it, like, you know, and it just, I think it makes you tighter. I think it makes it tighter.
Well, I mean, you know, once you, it was Craig Gillespie came up in commercials in the 80s and 90s. And it's like, if you can tell a story in 30 seconds, you're moving faster through a feature narrative than you maybe need to, but you understand what's important and what isn't. And so you can just pack detail in without ever bothering to have exposition. It's just like, oh, the thing on the wall tells you who this guy is, where it came from, because that's how it would work in a TV spot.
You see it a lot in Spielberg. In like War of the Worlds, Tom Cruise, I think he's in the first scene of War of the Worlds. He's like he works like construction on the docks or something.
Yeah,
in
he's
the
like
first,
a
like,
containment ship crane guy.
He's like kind of an asshole. Like, you find out he's an asshole. You find out he's a bad father. You find out he's like quitting his job. And by the way, in 3 more minutes, the world's gonna end. Like, this is like, get us to where we need. It's about a guy with his family. Get us there. And that's the kind of stuff I'm into, and the type of, like, it's why I like the relationship, them meeting in Hamnet a bunch, because, okay, great, we saw they're together. I want to see where this goes after that, and that's what really you're buying the ticket for. Anyway, what I think shorts help set you up for.
My thanks to Blake Winston Rice, whose short film Disc is screening this week at the Clermont-Ferrand International Short Film Festival and will be turning up at other fests around the globe. Thanks also to Curtis Russell. He knows what he did. You can find Blake on Instagram at Blake W. Rice, all one word, and you can find Hamnet in theaters and on digital as of today. It's also coming to 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD March 3rd from Universal Pictures Home Entertainment. You can find me on Blue Sky at Norm Wilner, and you can find this podcast there at Semcast, S-E-M-Cast, and on the web at someoneelsesmovie.com. The first year of the show is still available for just $20 at payhip.com/semcast. That's the first 52 episodes of Someone Else's Movie, 40 of which aren't currently available anywhere else. And check out my newsletter, Shiny Things, at shiny-things.ghost.io. I think you'll enjoy it. Our theme song is by The Last Year. If you like it or the show in general, please say so. Leave a review wherever you've been listening. Every little bit helps, it truly does. And check out the other shows on the Frequency Podcast Network while you're doing that. Stay safe, watch movies, get all the boosters. I'll see you next week.